Hey everybody, this is Steve Moore, owner of Run More, this fabulous brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. Today we're going to be talking about the highly anticipated HOKA Mach X. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just say that, selfishly, this was a shoe that I was really looking forward to. I don't do as much road as I used to, but this shoe was on my radar for a while of a shoe that kind of fits the type of running I do when I am on the road, and a brand that I'm very familiar with. So I was very excited. This is the HOKA Mach X. Just some of the nitty gritty stuff here. This is a 39 millimeter highest point stack height with a 5 millimeter drop on the men's sides. At a size 10, the shoe weighs in just over 9 ounces. On the women's side, at a size 8, this is about a 8-ounce shoe. So it is a fast, speedy, everyday trainer. We're actually seeing a lot of new shoes in this sort of in between a trainer and a race shoe. So I have been trying to think about the best way to categorize some of these shoes, because since I've opened my shop and since we started doing these videos and stuff, we've seen this new category emerge, and it's sort of in the middle of a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to call this shoe a performance trainer. There seems to be this whole new wave where we're finding stuff that's not necessarily everyday, not necessarily a racing shoe, almost a hybrid shoe. So we're going to call this a performance trainer. This has some of the characteristics of two popular shoes. Can you guess? No, it is in fact the Rocket X and the Mach. The Mach X, boom, you got it, you have your Mach X. So we have that speedy feeling of an everyday trainer in your Mach 5, and then we have the performance feel of your Rocket X2. So this one has the carbon plate, this one has the really super expensive, fancy PIBA midsole, and so this shoe has a little bit of both of those, right? So we have our really high-end PIBA midsole that HOKA is adding on their performance stuff, and we'll see some new shoes from HOKA coming down the line that's adding even more of this. But this shoe has a lot of this PIBA midsole, which is their super high charged, resilient, fast, exciting midsole. But what this has is not a carbon plate, but a P-Bax plate. So it has this plastic plate in the middle to it, not as aggressive as what you'd find on a carbon plated shoe, but way more than you're going to find in a trainer. You don't see a lot of trainers that have any type of plate on it. So this is a everyday trainer that has a plastic plate into it, and then a midsole that you find on more of a premium racing shoe. So this is your performance trainer. And again, to be quite selfish, this is the type of shoe that I pull more frequently than not when I'm not on the trail. I'm 43 years young, and I still like to run and pretend that I'm as fast as I was when I was in college and all that kind of stuff. So when I'm looking at my shoe collection, and as you can imagine, I probably have a pretty good shoe collection of just a wide range of stuff. When I am going on the road, I tend to find myself pulling these type of shoes more than let's just say a HOKA Clifton or even a Mach. There's something about putting on a shoe where you can run and kind of feel a little bit effortless when you're going, and it's still feeling like you're not necessarily cheating and wearing a racing shoe, but you have that up-tempo training shoe, and that's what this is. This being a higher cushion shoe, this can be your performance trainer for doing anything from just everyday stuff to if you're getting ready for a marathon and you wanted to do a 16, 18 mile long run and maybe do some tempo work in the middle. This is such a perfect shoe for that kind of stuff. My concern, and it's not necessarily my concern with the shoe, is just sort of a direction that we're seeing with all these performance-y shoes is again, selfishly, if I'm looking at my stuff and I'm man, I just got to slog today. I just got to go out there and do 8 miles on the road, whatever. And sure, I can go run in a pair of HOKA Cliftons. But man, having this shoe that is still supposed to be an everyday trainer that I know is going to make that run feel that much faster and more fluid and more snappy, it's hard not to pull these shoes. And the only reason why I have a little bit of trepidation with these things is, as a guy's been running for 30 plus years now, there is something to me about running in a shoe that is sort of sluggish and sort of slower, just more of a traditional training shoe that makes you feel a little bit more like an everyday runner and not on that verge of sort of racing, going too fast on it every day. So you almost have to take this shoe and be a little bit cautious with it, that you sort of need those days where you're pulling yourself back. I just came back from the beach from Ocean City, Maryland out here, and I took my Mach X with me, and I got to do about 30 miles while I was down there, all on the road and all on this shoe. And it really is a fast, fun, speedy shoe. And all of my runs were effortlessly fast. Those days where you look at your watch and the effort versus your time doesn't quite line up. You're boy, my time was way faster than the energy I was putting out. And of course, you can go the opposite way where you're boy, I feel like I was working real hard today, but my time doesn't quite equate the effort I was putting out in. This shoe can almost give you that false sense of confidence. So just kind of be wary if all of your runs are in shoes in this performance category. you're running at a pretty fast performance-y pace shoe, and it's $180, so it should feel fast. But just know that when you do go into a race situation, whether it's this or you're putting on something like the Rocket X2, there isn't such a huge jump to it, where I kind of began going back to my days of being a younger guy and not having such a wide, versatile selection of shoes to pick from, because you wore like that everyday heavy 11-ounce trainer shoe. And then on race day, when you put on something snappy, we didn't have these fancy carbon plated shoes. But if I put on a racing flat or something, if I was doing something where I'd put on a speed shoe, like there was a huge difference between the two. But now we're sort of blurring those lines a little bit. And there are people that, will use this as an everyday and then come in and race that. But I think there will also be people that use this as that one shoe to do them all. Train in, do your everyday runs in, and then you can even go race in this shoe. And that can be that shoe that does everything. And it does have a little bit of a higher price point, but you might be able to get away with doing a little bit of everything in it. So that's just sort of my own sort of take this shoe and just know how to use it appropriately and not get so caught up in the, I'm so fit because all of my runs now are so fast compared to what I used to go in. Well, some of it could be the shoe. And that, of course, is what you're looking for in a nice performance trainer like a shoe like this. So I find the fit on this shoe is great. I find the width on this shoe is great. And that was one thing I noticed with the Mach 5 is that to me, it ran a little narrow and I've got a little bit of wider foot. And I actually had been dealing with some bunion issues and I was kind of worried about putting on a brand new shoe, especially as my only pair of shoes that I brought to actually run in on my little couple days away. But I had zero problems. It fit me so well. It was such a nice, pleasant run in this shoe. And really, for wear and tear on it for 30 miles of running on, running down the roads in Ocean City, Maryland, like the shoes looked great. They felt great every day I put them on. Again, it's only 30 miles, but they just felt really good and exciting. And I was very happy with the performance I got out of that shoe. So if you are looking for that shoe that's kind of a little bit of everything that you can do a lot of stuff in, great. The Rocket X or the Mach X is going to be a great shoe for you. If you're looking for a shoe you can race, train, and do everything in, great. Or if you're somebody just like myself who likes to have a little bit of extra get up and go on your everyday runs, it's a great option for you. It feels and fits great. It's light, it's snappy. It's the HOKA Mach X. The shoe came out in July of 2023. Again, it's $180. So far, the feedback here at the shop in the 1 week we've had this has been really, really positively received. We've seen a lot of people coming in just looking for that new trainer shoe. And I've been doing a lot of like, hey, I have an exciting new shoe. And a lot of people have scooped it up. So I don't know if you've had a chance to run it. Now this shoe's been out for 2 weeks or so since by the time you're seeing this video. So if you've run in this, leave some comments down below. Let me know your feedback on it. I've had great experiences with it, but I'd love to know your experience with it as well. And if you have any questions on the Mach X or just any other thing else that we're talking about here with HOKA, feel free to leave it down below and we'll get back to you as soon as you can. If you wanted to purchase this fine product or any other new shoe models out on our site, click the link below, enter promo code RUNMORE and you'll save 10% and you'll get free shipping. So this will knock this $180 pair of shoes down to $162, not too shabby. Anyway, hope you found this video exciting and resourceful. And if you did, please give us a like and subscribe. It really helps us grow our channel and our little online presence. So thank you so much. Happy, safe running out there. Happy summer. And hopefully come on down to Westminster and we'll see you around town.